Welcome to your Recreation Committee meeting for this Tuesday night in the 8th of March. First on the agenda, further meeting? Further meeting, thank you very much. First on the agenda, apologies.
Councillors McGough, Mardy, Thompson and Smith.
Thank you. Item 2, declaration of interests.
I'm Mr. Chair.
Item 4B, I want to comment or vote.
Councillor Costa? I'm second. Item 3, will be questions?
I'm Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Item 4, this is the first of two presentations that we have tonight. It's the Youth Council. It sounds like a little bit of fun, I would think. Let's hear some sort of fun colour on or whatever it is. That would be Spennymoor Town Council. Youth Council, sorry. Well, I said that would be up. Next item on the agenda is item 5, the Ridley Skate Park. This is the update provided by the Facilities Manager Tom.
Yeah, through you, Chair. The report provides the committee with an update position regarding the skate park proposed for Jubilee Park. The committee most recently agreed on the position of the proposed skate park in Jubilee Park. The members also sought confirmation that the prospective contractor had considered the drainage in relation to the design and build of the skate park, and the implementation of the skate park will not create or increase any additional drainage issues within the park. The current position is that assurances have been received from the contractor in relation to the drainage and the design and build. An application for planning approval was submitted to Durham County Council in the planning department on the 24th of February, and that was accompanied by a number of letters of support. It is anticipated that will take within the region of 8 weeks to receive a decision on the planning approval from the planning authority. And the recommendations are that the committee note the current position, and also that the committee receive an update report containing the outcome of the planning application and progress on all the areas of work at a future date.
Thank you very much, Councillor report. Councillor Dow?
Yeah, Chair, I've just got a couple of concerns. If you look at Mr. Anson's report, 3.3 is the current position. It's more and more the Town Council, we don't possess the qualified staff members, the construction project manager, and therefore I'm a bit surprised that we've negotiated the contract. It doesn't include project management, doesn't include cameras, and it doesn't include lights. Because we don't have such a person, I thought we would have got the total package with all the Town Council had to do is sign it off. If these aren't in this contract, are there also now extra costs as well? For the project management, for lights and cameras? Could you please explain this to us?
Through you, Chair. The current arrangement is when this contract was let, the contract management element wasn't included. The contract management in terms of the build and the design was included. But there's been recent regulation changes around CDM where it's just recently changed following the procurement of this contract. Where we're at this moment in time is I'm in dialogue with the contractor around the roles and responsibilities in relation to CDM, and that dialogue is continuing at this moment in time, because where I'm trying to get to is that whilst we have a responsibility as the client, the design and build contractor has a responsibility themselves as well. So that dialogue is currently ongoing. In relation to the power and the lighting element was always part of the project and is included as part of that proposal in in terms of the fixation of the pillars and the lights themselves, because the commitment was that we would use storm lighting. In terms of the power to the lighting, that wasn't considered and hasn't been considered as yet, and dependent upon the power requirements, and that's still, we're still talking about that and how many we want to need, and because that's in planning stage. We don't as yet know the level of power that it will take to get them lights up and running, so that's still in the dialogue stage. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that's being budgeted for, or it might be as part of an exigency budget. In terms of security cameras, that hasn't been budgeted for, and we don't know at this stage how many we need and the location of them until we get this bottomed.
Councillor Gunnar? Thank you, Chairman. I'm surprised this sounds like a doom and gloom report. I thought this was a good, positive report, never mind. Just to sort of comment on some of those items, the project, as we know, is jointly funded between the Town Council and the Spennymoor AAP and neighbourhood funding for county councillors. There's a budget already of £150,000, further £10,000 earmarked from neighbourhood funding, and the current contract with Benfleet, I think, was for around £110,000 and £20,000, so there is quite a considerable amount of underspend currently in that budget. There's no indication at this point that that will go over budget. I think the important thing to note here is that we're at a stage now where we've got a detailed plan. It's in planning approval. We'll find out the determination of that plan approval in due course. It's pleasing to see the amount of work that's been undertaken here. It's pleasing to see that the facilities manager has a plan for the completion of the project. So I think, this is a very positive thing for us. I think it's an exciting project for the people of Spennymoor. We should continue to look at the facilities manager's work on this, and I'll go the recommendations of the report.
Chair. 8 weeks from Planning Commission and 12 weeks for construction. Isn't that not one in the field out here?
Through you, Chair, it will come back with a timeline that will be put to this council, and that's why I'm proposing a future date to come back, and then it will be for members to decide on, is that timeline suitable, acceptable or not?
Councillor Thompson?
It's a great project and we welcome it, but we still have to interrogate financial costs, and I'm surprised Councillor Geldan would suggest that we're against us talking down the project. We still like to interrogate the financial cost of any project, whether it's good or bad.
I say Councillor Geldard's quickly can't resist it. It's a positive project. My question relates to, it's took long enough now, but there's no other reasons for more delays. We have the money, we have the planning permission, and everything's going forward. Now I'm more excited than Councillor Geldard as well. Thank you.
Do you have a recommendation on that? Do you have a second? Seconded. All in favour? I'm all for that, mate.
We look at
All against? Abstentions? Thank you very much. The recommendation goes through. Item 6 is the allotments tenancy agreement.
Through you, Chair, the purpose of the report is to update the committee on the process and position of adapting the new 2016 allotment tenancy agreement, which was agreed by the Recreation Committee on the 10th of November. Just a little bit about the background. The final draft of the tenancy agreement was presented to the committee following consultation on the 10th of November. In January 2016, the Council agreed to reduce the allotment rent from 10.33 per square yard down to 7.8 per square yard as part of the annual review on the Council's scheme schedule of fees and charges. The legal implications are that in line with the Allotments Act of 1950, members will recall that in section 4.3 of the report in October, committee were informed that to apply a new agreement to existing tenants, this must be through the following two ways. One, by agreement with the allotment holder, or two, by providing the allotment holder with 12 months notice of change should they be willing to adapt to the new agreement. I think it's important to note that that needs to be to each individual allotment holder rather than just putting notices up. It is recognised that 12 months notice must be provided to the individuals in order to make the adoption of the 2016 tenancy agreement by the existing tenants mandatory. All of the conclusion of that 12 months period must be taken up. The advice from the National Society of the Allotment and Leisure Gardens Association is that there's no requirement of notice required in respect of the council reducing allotment rents. The next steps are, as agreed by the Council in 2010, the new tenancy agreement will commence from the 1st of April 2016, and any new allotment tenant or after that date will be provided with a new agreement. From April 2016, on the payment of the allotment rent, all existing tenants will be provided with the opportunity of signing the new 2016 tenancy agreement. However, it will not be mandatory. All allotment holders, regardless of whether or not they sign the new agreement, will be charged the new rate. The recommendations are that the committee note that the current position and the next step be based around the decisions previously taken by the committee and the council, and that the council write now to all allotment holders confirming the above position and in line with the Allotment Act 1950, serve formal notice of the council's intention that the new tenancy agreement will be implemented, and the letter will provide all existing holders with the two following options. One, to sign a new tenancy agreement on the payment of the rent for the 2016-17, or two, to remain on the current agreement until the 1st of April 2017, at which point the signing of the new tenancy agreement will be introduced in April 2016 will become mandatory for all allotment holders.
Thank you, Chair. I thank the Facilities Manager for a very detailed report, and it's a report that I feel was necessary. I've had a number of contacts on social media with regards to this topic, and I know we've had further information requests in as well. And I think it's important for the Council at this stage to fully outline all of the details with regards to what was A, our reduction in allotment rent, and B, the changing of the tenancy agreement. We have worked on this since February last year. We've had consultation meetings with allotment holders, and we've had 2 reports come back to the Council in October and November with regards to this. And the position hasn't changed at all. This is simply a more detailed report that shows all of the implications moving forward. I think the proposal is sensible and something we're always going to have to do. With that, I would like to move the recommendations that the letters be sent as soon as possible. Considering full council is on the 22nd of March, and allotment holders have to pay their rent by April, I think it would be prudent if we were to have an orders today to allow those letters to be sent out as soon as possible. Move that, Chairman.
Yes, Chair. I have been contacted by an allotment holder concerned about the potential of a number of allotment agreements. I've since spoken with Mr Ranson, and he's updated me with regard to it, in that there may be situations where some allotment tenants have been working on very old agreements, and that these agreements is to bring things now completely up to date. We are working on 2 agreements only, as I'm being informed. But this is to tighten up and remove all of the other previous agreements that people might still be working for. On the item 6.2.1, I do feel it's necessary, in order that there is clarity there, to sign the new 2016 tenancy agreement on the payment of their reduced rent. So assuming that all allotment holders are fully aware that everyone is entitled to the reduced payment. I also discussed with Mr Ranson why it was that we had to send out individual letters to all allotment holders, and he did say that this was a legal requirement. You know, I did think with regard to the cost of this, but in view of the fact that it's a legal requirement, then you know I accept that. Thank you. So I would ask for just to that amendment to reduce cost.
Yeah, through you, Chair. I take Councillor Madison's point in that wording. It's a given because it's mentioned further in the report that it's there, and that will be adapted to reflect your comments.
No, I'll accept that comments in your Councillor McLeod.
Chair, the purpose of changing the thing is to have a lot of tenancy agreements without one agreement. By this way, we will have 3 agreements. The 2 that's already currently running, and this one now, because you've got to give them 12 months notice. So I thought it was to make it like simple, you know, if we introduce the tenancy agreement next year, give people notice in quickly here, put a reduced rate.
Through you, Chair, I don't disagree with what Councillor McLeod was saying. We will end up with two agreements. Unfortunately, what we didn't do at the beginning of this process was set out a letter to each allotment holder, which enables us to do that. We're in a situation where we started the consultation process. Any new allotment holders coming on board would sign the new 2016 agreement, and then from 2017, everybody will be on the same agreement. I think Councillor Madison made the point that historically, the word is that there has been a number of agreements out there. By conducting ourselves in this way, we basically drawn a line in the sand and saying this is the way that we'll be dealing with it going forward. And going forward, everybody will be working under what will be known as the 2016 agreement.
Thank you, Chairman. It was just really to come back on Councillor Madison's points, but also to touch on what Councillor McLeod said there. This idea first appeared in the first iteration of the council vision, which was in 2014, 2 years ago, and the exact reason was because we knew we were in a situation at the time where over in TV history, various different allotment holders had different versions of the agreement, and the idea was to bring everybody under one single agreement, so we knew where everybody was, and an agreement that was fit for purpose and something that allotment holders felt they could easily manage within the rules, and something that benefited the council and the allotment holders in the agreement. There has to be a transition period, and the transition period will be from April this year, where any new allotment holders will sign this tenancy agreement that went through in November, and they will be on that tenancy agreement for the remainder of the time. Over the period of that year, it will be a transition year. Everybody else who doesn't want to sign up to this current agreement, who is an existing allotment holder, will remain on their current agreement. And their current agreement might be from 2, 3, 4, 5 years since. What we'll have is a situation this time next year, in April 2017, where everybody will be expected to sign that one tenancy agreement. So we're bringing in a tenancy agreement this year that's fit for purpose for the council and allotment holders, so that, and it is completely right that any new allotment holders sign that tenancy agreement in April. We'll follow the law as we always intended to do with regards to the 12 months notice period for existing allotment tenants, and they will also be expected on a mandatory basis to sign that new tenancy agreement the year after. So come April 2017, as was outlined in the vision 2 years ago, we'll have one tenancy agreement that's fit for purpose for all allotment tenants, and we'll look up to everyone to the
Councillor Dawson?
Just a suggestion for clarification. The recommendations refer to section 6. Now, 5.3 makes it absolutely clear that everybody will get the reduction. But at 6.21, it mentions the benefit of the reduction. In R2, it doesn't mention that they will get a benefit. That is the bit that's gone out in the letter. And I just wanted to make sure, do we want to clarify that it might be there?
The point of order on that one, Chairman, it says the benefit from the terms of the new agreement. It's the terms of the new agreement, and it has been specified in this report under 2.4 there. It was a separate decision to reduce the allotment rate, and it is a separate matter. I appreciate what Councillor Madison was saying about indicating that all the allotment rates will be reduced, and that's something we can do in the letter. But it's not the case that only people who have signed up this new agreement will benefit from the allotment rent, and that this report puts that speculation to bed.
Sorry, Chair, can I get all the people who signed up the agreement benefit? Everybody benefits from the rent reduction.
Yes.
That's
That's exactly what the report says.
No further questions? Recommendation, do we have a second for the amendment?
I'll second that.
Very much, all in favour of? Against? Abstentions? Thank you very much. Recommendation is still good. Item 7, the agenda. Easement on the Albion Street allotments. So there was a mandatory report.
Through you, Chair, to advise the purpose of the report to advise the committee on the arrangements regarding Albion Street allotments and the work proposed by Spennymoor in relation to the proposal to run a sewer through the council allotment land. Just a little bit about on the background. The council had previously granted easement across the allotment of Albion Street to Spennymoor. Early meetings with Spennymoor suggested that their preferred method was to dig up the allotments to lay the sewer pipe. After a number of site meetings being held with Spennymoor, ward councillors, allotment secretary and affected allotment holders, there's some plans and diagrams relating to the matter available for the members and public to see and be on the table here this evening. The current position is that Spennymoor have now confirmed in writing that they are willing to meet the council's legal costs relating to this matter. Swinburne and Madison have been contacted and asked if they would be willing to undertake that legal work on behalf of the council, and they provide the potential fees to Spennymoor at an approximate figure. After further discussions with Spennymoor, a new proposal to install the sewer using trenchless technology has been agreed, and this will minimise any direct impact on the allotment holders whatsoever. The relevant allotment holders have been consulted on this new proposal, and they have indicated that this would have no impact on their activities on their allotments. In addition to paying the council's legal costs, Spennymoor also confirmed that they're willing to agree to any sensible level of compensation for any loss that may arise as a result of their works, and Spennymoor also confirmed that they're willing to contribute or provide sponsorship to the town council's horticultural show because it's horticultural and it relates to allotments and growing. The recommendations are that we appoint Swinburne and Madison to act as the council on behalf of the council regarding this matter, and all their costs are recovered from Spennymoor as agreed. The Swinburne and Madison to review the proposed deed of grant, an option to grant easement and reach an agreement with Spennymoor on the council's behalf, and that these documents be signed by the town mayor on behalf of the council. Subject to the signing of the documents, that the council write formally to Spennymoor to agree to the work commencement in April 2016 to enable the works to be done in a quick and effective as possible with a minimum effect on the allotment holders, and that the council write to each of the allotment holders involved and the allotment secretary informing them of the council's decision and to ensure that they remain as a positive stakeholder in this process. Also, that notices are placed on the notice board at Albion Street allotment site so that all allotment holders not involved are also aware of the work being undertaken, and the council authorise the facilities manager to negotiate with Spennymoor the level of sponsorship for the town show.
Thank you very much. Just a slight correction there from 4 4146 were proposal and not recommendations on those.
Sorry, yes, there's a proposal, sorry.
Right, yeah, that's right. Councillor Gelder?
Thank you, Chairman. I thank the Self-Management report and the ward member on this one. I've been involved in the meetings of local ward members. Our main concern was that at any stage of this process, our allotment holders up there should not be disadvantaged, and if they were, they should be compensated properly. And we made that very clear to Spennymoor at the site meetings. And I know that's been the position of this committee when it's come back to previous meetings. I'm pleased to see here a position where there won't be a detrimental effect on our allotment holders, and I'm also pleased that those allotment holders affected are in agreement with this project going forward. And with that, I would like to move the recommendations of the report.
Chair, I would just like to say it's a win-win all the way around. But I'd just like to ask about Swinburne and Madison. Do we have them on a retainer? Is this a situation where we should be getting 3 quotes, or do we have them on a retainer? I don't know, I'm asking a genuine question.
Yeah, to come back on that one, Chairman. In this particular instance, Swinburne and Madison have been suggested because they were a firm that we've used in the past. The legal costs of this case will not be incurred by us, but they will be incurred by Spennymoor. I don't feel there's a tender process necessary. But if there are future cases, of course, we follow financial regulations and we get 3 quotes for any sort of advice.
Thank you, Chair.
Just through you, Chair, also just the recommendations are that we have standing orders to allow the matter to be progressed immediately.
And second?
Second.
All those in favour? Thank you very much. Motion is carried. Item 8 is the Albion Street Football Pitch Consultation Report. Once again,
Yeah, through you.
also, just one thing, I just remember out there. Councillor gets touched out.
Through you, Chair, the purpose of the report is to provide the committee with the result of the recent Albion Street football pitch consultation exercise that the council's undertaken. Just a little bit on the background, the council moved that a consultation exercise be undertaken following issues around dog fouling, car damage to Albion Street football pitch. Each resident in Albion Street were written to with a consultation exercise. The current position is that the consultation exercise has been completed. Residents have been assured that following a decision by the council that they will be written to again informing them of the council's decision. The consultation cards identified a slight majority against the idea of placing a fence around the ground, with 7 being against and 6 in favour. There are also a number of letters included. However, some of them letters were supporting a consultation card as well. The consultation information is on the table for members to view and have a look at. The proposals are that in line with the results of the consultation, the committee agree that at this stage a fence is not erected around the football pitch. Residents are written to confirm the council's decision. The council contacted and county council regarding dog fouling, particularly around the key times that residents have raised, which is around and before 7 AM in the morning and 4 and 5 PM in the evening, and that dog fouling signage is introduced to inform the public of the penalties regarding dog fouling, and also that the committee considered the options about introducing the large boulders around the perimeter as suggested within the consultation. I think the only thing I would say around the boulders is that if we want to place large boulders around the ground to prevent public cars accessing it, then it would also prevent the works vehicles accessing it, and we would need to ensure that there was sufficient space for the council's trucks to get on to maintain the ground, and by doing so we would actually in fact be leaving a gap for the public to get on as well. So it's just for members to consider.
Thank you, Chairman. I think the important thing with this one, and when this first came to the committee, was that we consulted with the local residents and that we listened to them, and I think that's exactly what we've done here. And the proposals from the facilities manager outline that fact. The people allowed the administrator to come back and said they don't want some sort of defence like this, and so I think the proposal 4.1 is completely sensible, but we don't erect this fence at this time. I think it goes without saying that we should listen to those local residents. A lot of those residents indicated that there were issues with regards to dog fouling. Now, they even indicated the timing at which they think the dog fouling is happening, so we can pass that information to the county council that can take the appropriate action to try and stop that from happening. I think we should consider other options in the future, such as CCTV up there, which could be in connection with the community centre, which also has assets that we may want to look to protect. I hold some reservation towards the holders idea. The facilities manager just outlined one of the concerns there. And obviously, I think, I'm no footballer, but I do think that the FA have something to say about the distance that they've got to be from a football pitch. I don't know whether there's the distance up there. So we can certainly look into that. I would have to say reservations on doing anything like that at this stage. But I think we should keep options open with regards to surveillance and other ideas as they come forward.
More comments on that?
Yes, move that.
Second.
All in favour? Item 9, the Spennymoor Drumhead Service. This is an annual request from the request the service in the park. Quite obviously, I think we received on that. It's an annual request.
Yeah. I'll say that, Chairman.
Item 10, the last item. This is a request to use Jubilee Park for a charity event. This is Amy on a period from Caroline Proctor. I believe she's actually had an event with some description in the past in Jubilee Park. Once again, she's asking permission to use this as a charity event. This Councillor
I seem to recall this was on last year, and we did actually agree last year that it was something that we should have each year.
Yes, we did agree that this was to be accepted on an annual basis, but I think it's right to come to this agenda anyway with members' information. And I would reiterate that we accept this request and future requests as they come forward.
All in favour of that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That brings us to the end of the